Okay, welcome to our third Chakra 101 day. It's so great to have some of you back that have been hiding for a little bit. We're super excited to be here. So just like normal, when we go into a new chakra, after check-ins, I will give you some of the basics. Candace goes even deeper, and then we have an activation journey. So that's kind of what it looks like today. Um, Do you have any announcements, Candace?
I do. So personally for me, I have one announcement. I'll be unavailable for one-on-ones until after September 23rd. So if you're trying to book something and there's nothing there, that's why. So you're going to have to wait a little while because I'm going to go enjoy myself. But feel free to Marco me and connect with me that way. That brings me joy. So we'll keep in touch that way.
Perfect. Awesome. And I just want to make sure there's no other announcements that we're forgetting really quick. I think we're good. Okay. Yes, I think that's great. So, let's do check-ins.
Okay, I've got my 2-minute timer on. Who would like to go first?
I can go.
Thank you.
Um, so I have been learning a lot about myself these past few weeks, I guess. I feel like I fully step into my power, and I realized that because before people telling me that I'm an empath, and I was just didn't really believe it, and until I was asking for a sign, like clear sign that I like who I am, and people have been telling me like, oh, I've been doing things, and then people telling me like, oh, I actually was thinking about that, and how did you know that I need that? And I was just like, yeah, I just know. So it's been really good, and I have been speaking the truth, like telling what I want, and that wasn't easy before. And now it feels great saying what I need to say. So that's all.
Excellent. Wonderful. That is huge and big movements that you're making. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Charmaine, you can go ahead.
So I have been very disconnected. What I guess I should say, what I need is everyone maybe to just leave me some space. I've been very disconnected. So.
What does that look like as far as what you need?
Prayers.
Okay.
I'm dealing with my daughter wanting to move in with her dad, which is a very hard thing for me. And, the whole I'm 14 and I hate my mom scenario, which she doesn't, but she acts like it. So I just have been throwing myself into work and just dealing with it that way.
Sending you so much love, Charmaine. That's a tough one. You got this, and I'm so glad you're here, and just really lean on us, okay?
Thank you.
I love you, a woman, and I want you to know I know you want space, and when you're ready for support, I'm 100% here to process this with you, okay? All you have to do is reach out.
And I appreciate that. And I know that part of it is my wounding of being a burden to people, and I'm trying to process it and remember I'm not a burden. It's easier said than done.
So I want to tell you something because I think Candace and I probably need to just say this out loud more because I said this to somebody last week. most of the people in this class, Marco Polo, Candace, and I daily. So if you're not one of them, then you have tons of room to continue to Marco, because it's never burdensome. I know, and I know Courtney's smiling because we talk every day, and I know everything she's going through, and so I know how to support her. Same with Michelle. We talk a lot on Marco. Astra, a lot on Marco. And it's only because, you know, when we can do that, we can lean in, and you can realize that Candace and I's love isn't going anywhere, and it's not conditional. And so I know it's really scary, but if you let yourself lean in as soon as you're ready, you're not going to be disappointed. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Michelle, go ahead.
So first of all, Nikayla, thank you for that, because yes, I know I Marco you probably way more than I ever thought I would, but it's not daily. And actually one of the things I wanted to share was I was really like disjointed last week. And I actually, Candace, just listened to your message from Monday last night. And I'm like, okay, that was very enlightening. But what I ended up processing this weekend, I'm thinking I probably could have processed it faster if I had contacted you guys last week and said, I am so like, I'm disjointed. It's like, it's coming at me like this, not like this. And so, but what I wanted to share that I discovered in sitting and journaling Saturday morning is that I have been avoiding moving forward. And what's really funny is if anyone looked at me over the last 6 months from the outside, they wouldn't think that I'm avoiding moving forward. I mean, I had a massive breakup in January, and I've got my own home and bought new furniture and, you know, looking for a house and, you know, moving on with all this stuff. But what hit me on Saturday is that's just all mask. For lack of a better word, it's all mask. And what hit me on Saturday is I'm literally avoiding moving forward, because then that's like this finality of my relationship being done. And it was weird how I recognized it, and I recognized it in all of these little ways. You know, I haven't been doing my budget. I'm religious about doing my budget, and I have not been doing my budget for the last 4 months. I haven't been making my to-do list. And I'm a to-do list person. And I haven't been, thank you, I haven't been doing all these little things, but what's happening is all these little things are starting to become big things, because I'm losing my ease of moving forward because I'm not doing them. And that's what really hit me. And it was super interesting. So maybe if I talked a little bit more often, you guys might help me work through that faster. But I wanted to let you know that I had a huge breakthrough with that on Saturday.
One thing I want to share with you, Michelle, is that actually is a healing process of the wounding pattern that you have. To not do things like you've done before and not be organized and everything kind of falling apart is a good thing. So it's normal and it's natural, and it actually is resetting you, which means then you're now not doing it from a mask point of view, but now you're doing it because you truly are choosing to want to do it. But in order for that to happen, things kind of have to be splayed out in front of you in a big fat mess so that you can figure out which pieces you actually want to pick up again.
Thank you for that perspective. That's very helpful, because I have been really afraid of taking back on my little control freakness. And I actually shared with my son and his girlfriend the other day what I went through and what I discovered, and asked them to please, especially James, please hold me accountable, that if I start getting this going on that you pointed out to me, so that I can be aware of it, because I am really afraid of that. So thank you, Candace. That's a nice perspective. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Who would like to go next? You want to go, Courtney? I can't hear you if you're talking.
Okay. So I found an apartment, which both of you know. It took a lot of letting go. like Michelle, a lot of my control had to be let go. So October 1st, I get to start my new life, which Michelle, you can understand, going through a divorce like me is it's a huge step. So yeah, scared shitless, but I'm ready. As far as work goes, work is just nuts, but again, I have to just let it go and let the city figure it out at this point.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. It's so good to see you smiling and feeling like the weight off your shoulders, because you're definitely way lighter today. Good job. Okay, who is next? We've got Deborah, Astra.
I can go.
Thank you.
So I had a very emotional week leading up to a birthday week, but overall really good. I felt like I was, even though it was very hard, I was moving a lot of energy, and I feel much better. I feel cleansed out a lot, and I know it's a constant process, so I'm just trying to take it easy on myself. And me being a Pisces full moon today or tomorrow, it feels very timely, being very emotional, going through a lot of emotions and feelings, especially as we wrap up second chakra. So I'm feeling pretty good. Kind of a wavy week, but overall feeling good for this week.
Yay for birthday weeks. Whoop, whoop. Soon you'll upgrade to birthday months like me. It's fun.
Yes.
Glad you're feeling better. And Deborah.
Okay, so I had a weird week, I'll put it that way, because you know, we had fires here, so we were evacuated. My daughters were evacuated, and we all are safe and home. My oldest daughter is was staying with us with my granddaughter, and so I saw a pattern that I have done in the past, which is, oh, I'll take care of everybody, and oh, you know what, I won't do what I had planned. I'd cancel that and make sure everybody's taken care of. Well, I didn't do that, and that's why I wasn't at class on Friday, because I had plans to go sit by a waterfall and just veg. And so I spoke my truth, and I said, I have these plans, and I'm leaving at 7 in the morning. I'll be back later. What are you gonna do with my granddaughter? And so I went, and it all worked out, and I got to feel, and I got to hike, and I got to dance, and even go and let stuff out, you know, scaredness, anger, like and stuff like that.
Yay, I'm so proud of you to be able to do that. And you know, what you were doing was kind of what we're doing, was having childlike play and fun on that day. So we miss you, but glad you got to do what you got to do.
Thank you.
Awesome. I think that's everybody.
Did we hear from Toy?
Yep.
Yeah, we did. I totally.
Oh, you just muted yourself.
I'm sorry. I'm back now. Awesome. Okay. We are going to go into the third chakra. I'm just pulling up my notes for a second. Good shares, everyone. It feels like we're all moving through things so readily and so willingly, even though it's scary, right? So this is a really yummy place to be. And the cool thing about it is, if we think back to the first two chakras, right? We found this sense of grounding and stability, and our self, our sense of ourself, and our oneness, our connectedness, right? And we moved up into the feelings and the explorations of our surrender and our feminine side, and really being able to sink into the feelings of it. Now we're entering the third, which is where we really get to find our power. And I really love this chakra, and I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with it, more fun than any other class we've ever had. So this will be cool. So before I give you like the overview and the bullet points of the third chakra, I want to just tell you a little bit about the third chakra in general is the place right above your belly button and under your rib cage. So this central core area of your body is your third chakra. And it's really beautiful and really powerful. And it really gives you a sense of your individuality, the things that kind of set you apart from the rest of the world. Your individuality and your freedom, your autonomy are all really big things that you go through as you develop your third chakra. If it's out of alignment, you might have digestive issues. You might kind of feel that anxiety, blown out feeling in your belly. But really being able to work with your third chakra and having a willingness to gain insight into understanding your power, understanding your individuality, understanding the ways in which you identify with yourself in the world are really going to come through with this chakra. It's really going to be a place to ask yourself, are there areas in my life where I feel powerless? How does this manifest through me? Is there something misaligned within me that's kind of causing me to sink in and be down on myself and to create shame and pain and suffering within myself? And really asking questions and looking at yourself in that way. Does that make sense so far? This is all about your freedom and all about your power. And if we can do this in a balanced way, right? The danger here is, as we talk about this, you might get really excited and light your flame on fire and be like, yeah, I'm alive. This is amazing, Nikayla. And then all of a sudden you're like, and you crash. And it's like this sugar rush, right? Because you literally are like, okay, I get to be me. Nikayla's giving me permission to be me, to be alive. And you feel it, but because you haven't fully developed all of that and being able to understood and come from a place of love and really openly express your truth, sometimes it's like, oh, that's too much, and then we crash. And that's what Candace and I are going to help you work through, is being able to consistently have that flame in your third chakra nice and perfectly lit, not woo, like charging, and not too dim to make anything happen. Does that make sense? So again, before we go into some of the bullet points, I wrote a list of 5 things that you can really notice. And if you have more than 2 or 3 of these, this is something you're really going to want to look at. So if you see yourself as powerless compared to other people, if you find yourself submitting or are overly submissive in certain situations, and this can even look like you feeling like you want to speak and you feel that power, but you don't talk anyways. And that's a feeling within you. So that's one sign. If you have a lot of different ways of shaming yourself, this is a huge one. When I say a lot of different ways, of course, it can look like negative self-talk, right? It can look like all of the different ways you berate and bully yourself. But it can also look like, do you imagine situations that cause you pain? Do you walk away from a situation and still wonder what other people, and create stories about how other people perceived you? Or do you create stories about yourself in the eyes of other people? And in what ways can you cultivate a better relationship with yourself? So if you're constantly bullying yourself, constantly shaming yourself, this is a time where you want to look at that. If you are highly goal-oriented and get a sense of meaning or purpose by your list of accomplishments rather than just being, right? If you're really like, I did all of these things and I, created this to-do list and accomplished everything off of it. Doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, but you get your sense of power or accomplishment from the things that you do. And if you're not doing those things, then you go into that shame spiral. A big one for the third chakra is seeing your future or even just the world around you as a threat or a danger. As I was healing through this, the trauma part of the third chakra looks very illogical. Literally, when I was driving down the road, if someone would pull up to me, I would literally wonder if they had a gun and were going to shoot through my car window. Like, I would just everywhere think everything was a danger to me. And so it's just this hyper vigilance when your third chakra is unhealthy, of wanting to constantly be prepared for threats on all levels. And if you're doing that a lot, then you need to look at this chakra. And then the big one is the physicality with your abdomen area. So digestive problems, ulcers, liver, gallstones, pancreas, anything with your metabolism. If that comes up for you a lot, you probably want to look at this chakra a little bit more closely. So now that I kind of gave you just my viewpoint of it, I'm going to go through some bullet points real quick that are going to give you a better understanding of this chakra. The element is fire. That's that beautiful, yummy flame. And it's Manipura, lustrous gem is the name. The purpose of the third chakra is transformation. And I really love to look at the third chakra as that it's like anything you put in the fire can be transmuted and up, right? But you have to have control and consistency within that flame. Otherwise you'll burn it or it won't burn hot enough. So it's really about transformation and creation here. Some of the issues that come up are your energy levels, activity levels, autonomy, individuation, will, self-esteem, proactivity, and power. The color of this chakra is yellow, like the sun. Sometimes it's represented as like a pale yellow also. And the location is where I told you, the solar plexus between your navel and your diaphragm. And the identity is an ego identity. The orientation is self-definition, so really individuating yourself from others. The demon is shame. This is the developmental stage between 18 months to 4 years. And I always like to correlate it to when my kids start to say no, because they're really creating like a sense of power and really being able to speak their truth, and they're developing their third chakra. They also like start to push the boundaries, right? What can I get away with? What makes me different? So 18 months to 4 years old. The developmental tasks for that is the realization of separateness. So I am not my mom, I am not my dad, I am me, my own individual. And then the establishment of autonomy. The basic rights are to act and be an individual. The balanced characteristics, if it's super healthy and yummy, it's responsible, reliable, balanced, effective will, good self-esteem, balanced ego strength, warmth and personality, confidence, spontaneity, playfulness, sense of humor, appropriate self-discipline, sense of one's personal power, and able to meet challenges. If you're super healthy in your third, those are some things you'll see. Some of the traumas and abuses that can cause this chakra to become wounded or excessive or deficient is shaming, authoritarianism, volatile situations, domination of will, physical abuse or a dangerous environment, fear of punishment, enmeshment, age-appropriate responsibilities, so like a child that has to be a parent all the time, or inherited shame from your parents. Deficiencies, so if this is the deficient or that flame is really light or even out, you have low energy, you have a weak will and you're easily manipulated, poor self-discipline and follow through, low self-esteem, cold emotionally and physically, poor digestion, collapsed middle, attraction to stimulants, victim mentality, blaming of others, passive and unreliable. If it's excessive, so your flame is just burning through everything, you're overly aggressive, dominating and controlling, you have a need to be right or have the last word, you're manipulative, power hungry and deceitful, attraction to sedatives, temper tantrums, violent outbursts, stubbornness, driving ambition, type A personalities, competitive, arrogant, and hyperactive. Physical malfunctions, so in your human form, you might have eating disorders, digestive disorders and ulcers, hypoglycemia or diabetes, muscle spasms, muscular disorders, chronic fatigue, hypertension, disorders of the stomach, pancreas, gallbladder, and liver. Some healing practices for this chakra, besides this school, are risk taking if you have a deficiency. So we want to take more risks if we're deficient. Grounding and emotional contact all around. If you're excessive, you want deep relaxation and stress control. Vigorous exercise is good for any third chakra wound. Martial arts and sit-ups, anything that gets that discipline or core strength is super beneficial. And psychotherapy to build a difference between ego and higher self, and also to release your anger. So to wrap this up, we're just going to say some affirmations out loud that are going to help your third chakra. So feel into them. Let's actually put both of our hands on our third chakra area. And let's just send some beautiful yellow light here. And I want you to envision, though, a very consistent flame. I don't want anything like or anything dim, just a really consistent, like a candle flame, while you say, I honor the power within me. I accomplish tasks easily and effortlessly. The fire within me burns through all blocks and fears. I can do whatever I will to do. And just for me personally, because this has been the chakra I've struggled with for a long time. The thing that I always say that is instant relief is, let's let it be easy. Everything in life can be easy if you let it be. But if you're over here trying to overcomplicate and overrun everything, and trust me, I know I love to run everything. If you can let go and just say, this doesn't have to be as hard as I'm making it. Life doesn't have to be painful or full of suffering. Let's let it be easy. You're going to feel yourself just really calm down. Any questions? Cool.
Okay, here I go. So I want to give you a little backstory of the third chakra, because my husband is a third chakra big time, and so is Nikayla. So I am very well versed at understanding this chakra now and can handle them very gently, which is a very good thing. So if you have issues with this energy, or someone that you know that has this, then you can definitely come to me, because then I can support you in responding to them better, okay? Everyone does it, it's great. So one of the examples that I really want to share with you before I go into the wounding pattern is someone that has this wounding, it needs space, right? And my husband literally has his man cave, and in his man cave, he puts an energetic shield. So, and I can feel it. So I can't go in when he's in what's called a shutdown mode, meaning that he is like processing all of the many feelings and experiences he's going through. And so before I knew about this, what I did was run straight through that energetic barrier and just climb on top of him and just like give him cuddles, right? Thinking like, I'm okay, I'm all good. But what happens is like, he's in that zone. So he's like gonna reject me. And in that moment of rejection, you know, I'm feeling upset. And then for him, he feels bummed, but he can't take all that energy, right? He's trying to adjust and be in his own space. But because I ran into his energy field, now I'm getting this whole push and like, get away from me. And then I feel unloved and I'm like, what's wrong with me? But it's not about me at all. It's him just needing space. Because as I give him space, then he's able to receive my love, right? So it's really important to notice if someone or yourself is in a third chakra wound, you'll need space, and that's okay. That's actually a part of the healing pattern, to just understand like you have your own space. So if someone runs in like I do, it's like, ah, right? So what I've learned to do is I feel into his energy field, and because it's outside the room, I'll talk to him from there, and he can hear me because I'm not messing with his own energy. I'm not enmeshing myself. And then as he relaxes a little bit more, I then sit on the couch like opposite to him. So I'm getting a little closer because I can feel like more of that, the openness coming in. And then as we talk a little bit more and we're just chilling, I actually get closer to him. Like I move to the other side of the couch, like nearest to him. And soon he relaxes, and then I'm sitting right next to him, and he's like, hello, because he can receive it now. And then we're talking. But if I ran up on it to him, then he's like, I'm definitely being rejected and pushed away. And I don't want that, right? And I want him safe. So I'll just slowly, as his energy subsides, get closer to him. And before I knew this with Nikayla, you know, I'm all super touchy feeling. I'm like, she's like, yeah. And not that, I mean, I think it's hilarious and cute, but she's just like, I'm trying. But, you know, I learned to give her space now so that I can also get into her energy field so she can receive me, because it's too much, right? And I'll give you the whole reason why this is a problem for these third chakra wounds, is because they have an issue with being invaded and controlled all the time. And so once they have their boundaries, once they have their room, like if anyone were to come up in it, it's like big fat walls, like a hail to the no, stay away, right? So, but if you can understand like being invaded and controlled all the time, of course, you're going to like really be mindful of your space and your energy. Like, don't fucking mess with me, right? That whole energy. So oftentimes you'll see it in their body, like they'll build up a very big, massive body, whether it be muscular or even, you know, chubby, because it's like creating a protective barrier that no one will come into this space, right? But that's an unskillful aspect because they can control their energy if they learn from us. But ultimately, you know, this wound has had many lifetimes, past lives especially, of being controlled and invaded and put into slavery and told what to do as servants, being imprisoned, being told you can't do or be a certain way. Even and they're probably, you know, like the outliers where they're, you know, not conforming to the way that society is in their own way, but they couldn't be themselves. And if you think of past lives, you can't be, you know, a person of color, you can't be someone that's gay or lesbian, you can't be a lot of different things, you can't be a woman sometimes, right? So oftentimes most of us have these tendencies. They just get covered up by fifth chakra of looking perfect and normal and conforming, or heart chakra, it's like, I'm going to love you all the time, but I need my freedom and space. Or even second chakra, like, I need you, don't leave me, but then who am I, like, without you, right? So that's how it begins to like work in tandem with the other chakras. So you'll notice oftentimes this part of you will remain dormant until someone starts invading your space or your life or telling you what to do. So how this begins to show up in your life, in this present life, is your parents become your captors. And so you're stuck in your house as a little kid or, you know, teenager, and basically it's my rules or you're out of here. You have to conform to everything that we're doing, or you're not going to be loved. You're not going to have freedom. I'm going to tell you what to do all the time. And as you know, kids, like there's a healthy energy of parents like helping the kids to become adults and learn things. But these parents are literally the smother mothers and or smother fathers, where they're like on their asses for everything, right? Do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. So it's a constant barragement of like, ah, right? So they're like trying to get their space, but they can't even know who they are because they're being constantly told, this is who you are, this is what you do, you can't have your feelings, you can't do this or that, and you can't do it right, so I'm going to do it all for you. And so what happens is, if you can't do it right, and then, you know, the mom's going to do it all for you, you're basically stuck there, like sitting all the time because you can't do anything right. So what do? They become very hypersensitive, and they tune into everything that's going on, which is that hypervigilance. So it's like, okay, what's mom feeling today? What's dad feeling today? What's sister, brothers, you know, whoever else is in the house, what are they doing? And in that, so they develop like very psychic, empathic skills. And so they can tune in, like they're very sensitive that way. Most people say I'm empathetic, but it's also very unskillful empathetic, right? Because what they do is they keep themselves in other people's energy fields, but forget to bring themselves back to, again, individuate and say, this is my space, this is what I feel, and it's okay to feel what I'm feeling. So now their energy is in everything and everybody, even all the household things, but literally they can't touch it because they're going to be yelled at for not doing it right. So oftentimes they are deemed lazy. They're deemed like non-compliant, right? Because they're afraid of doing anything, because if they do one thing wrong, then they're just going to get yelled at again, right? And that's more imprisonment. And that's torturous for them. So they'll just sit there and probably play video games, or, you know, isolate themselves, hole up in their rooms. These are just natural tendencies that is a way to protect themselves and defend against their captors. Okay. So, so now when we think about like this mother or father, oftentimes what they're doing is, you know, trying to make them mini me's. But this child is not a mini me, it's their own individualized self. But oftentimes the parent will like take everything they do, their achievements, and name it as their own. So an example is, say the child draws a beautiful little picture of, you know, the family, mom, dad, brother, sister, and wants to show it to people, but mom takes it and goes, oh my God, look at what my kid did. Look, there's mom, dad, da, 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 and shares it off with everybody else. And now the kid's like, because it's not their own creation anymore. And when the third chakra creates that fire, it's a transformative fire, they literally can feel their essence of who they are. But if they're not able to create and do things for themselves, then they don't know who they are. They lose a sense of self. They can't bring in their own confidence because it's constantly stolen. And this also happens with like speaking, you know, speaking out loud and sharing something. So a person or someone or the parents, you know, the child will speak, but then the other person will steal the sentence and finish their sentence for them, thinking like, oh, I'll just hurry up the process and say it, right? And then the child is unable again to express its voice and its truth because it gets stolen by somebody else. Okay, and then they retreat even further because now they're humiliated, they don't know what they're saying, and they don't feel like they can really show up and share who they are. So again, they retreat inside. And all of this wounding pattern is called masochistic, meaning self-punishment and like total beat down on self. So think about it, like they can't do anything right. No one's letting them do anything. They can't even own their own creations. They can't even speak what they really want to speak. And now they're just constantly like just punishing themselves. Like, I'm unworthy, I suck, I don't belong here, all kinds of things, right? And I mean, I just feel all that heaviness. And so then they get trapped within themselves and in their bodies, not able to express anything at all. So this is where, if you're feeling this way, it's understandable. I mean, if you have a helicopter parent that's always constantly criticizing you, telling you what to do, you won't know who you are, right? And third chakra is like this understanding of who I am and the truth of who I am, the essence of who I am. And so if that's not there, it's going to take a while to get that back. But first you have to really have these boundaries. You have to be able to express your truth and feelings without feeling like you're going to be humiliated or reprimanded for what you feel and are experiencing, right? Or made to be in trouble. So to get out of this prison, you've got to learn how to like understand that you're rawly going to express things that you've never expressed before. And it's not going to come out skillfully. In the beginning, it's okay. And so that's where it's important for you to make a disclosure to everyone around you saying, hey, I am going to be more raw and real with you. And I may say things that may or may not hurt you, but please understand, like, this is not about you. And it's so hard for others to understand that, okay? It really is, because what you're going to say is a lot of pent up resentment energy that you never said because you couldn't ever say it in the moment, okay? Because again, your voice is taken away. You can't speak your truth. So think about it. Like I always think of like the Coke bottle. You're just stuffing all of this stuff, like inability to do anything, inability to create anything, inability to take care of yourself. And it stuffs. And so now you're shaking up this Coke bottle, and then someone does one thing to piss you off, and blah, all of it comes out on just that one person. And it's like, that person's like, you know, I can't probably even speechless like I am, right? And then you go into more self-punishment because now, how did I hurt that person? I love that person. What's wrong with me? Blah, blah, blah. And then the cycle continues, okay? But if you give that disclosure, it will help, I promise. You know, when Isaac told me he was going to start saying some things, I had to brace myself because, you know, he's always been nice and cordial, so to speak. So for him to actually say things to me about me that are not really about me, but really can hit home to me, you know, I had to hold space for him. And that didn't look good for a few years, I'm not gonna lie. But when I started to understand he just needed to empty, then I could hold space for him more, okay? And in that space, do not give any advice. Like, don't do it. Like, do not suggest anything, even though they're asking for your suggestion. Just say, I know you are going to figure it out, right? Because what you're now doing is helping them get their voice back, get their autonomy back, get their choices back to be able to know what they choose, right? Like if I tell them what to do, basically with that suggestion, even though he's like, I don't know what to do, and it elicits a suggestion, like they will like throw the wrath on you again. So don't do it unless you want to like be beat up, okay? So just say, I know you're going to figure it out and I'm here for you. If you want to just express yourself, I'm here, right? So then just let them express. Like I always think of the energetic trash bag. You're holding an energetic trash bag, letting them empty, even though it's about you. Again, it's not about you. Just let them empty. and then tie it up with a golden bow and then take it off to space. Okay. Now, there's something that's interesting that happens with like relationships, right? Especially when they're like, say a man is trying to, who has a third chakra, trying to tell you something, right? And women who are very powerful will often like interrupt, right? Like, oh, you mean you're saying this? And what you're doing to a man who's trying to express themselves is stopping them from getting to the deep, like real feelings. Okay. So do not say anything in their pause moments. Do not suggest anything in those pause moments. Let them finish. Okay. I know you're impatient. I know you want to say something in between, but let them finish, because then you'll get to the gold, right? And what that looks like is, for that third chakra wound, is their voice has been stifled, right? So they can't, like this conformity, I can't be who I want to be. Their fifth chakra needs to open. And as they open, then they drop down into the heart and they realize like, okay, I love this person. How do I want to say this? And they're literally thinking in their minds, like, how do I want to say this in a way that's loving and tender, but who I am? And then they'll drop into the third and they'll get those golden nuggets of truth. And then they'll even drop even more to get to their second chakra, which is all their feelings. And if you wait and allow that piece to really come out, then you're gonna like be amazed at what they say, right? When, I'll just give you an example. When Isaac has done this to me, when I finally got it, he was just letting out all this stuff of, you know, what I've done to him, right? But I was taking it non-personally, and I just kept saying, you know, I apologize for that. That was not my intention, where I could have like attacked and said, like, you did this and blah, 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 and whatever, but I didn't. And then he just kept emptying, and I was like, oh God, it's a lot. So I had to ground myself and cover my own belly. And as he kept saying things, you know, I just held it in that energetic trash can. And lo and behold, you know, we get home that night, he gets even deeper into his feelings and he shares more with me. And then later that night, even more, then he asked me to marry him. And so we finally got to the gold, right? Which was amazing. Like, I didn't even know that that was going to even happen. But imagine if I interrupted his pause, if I offered suggestions, if I tried to, you know, lash out on him for telling me about myself and how he was experiencing me, I wouldn't have had that engagement that night. And it's helpful because now I attempt to do that all the time, but I'm not perfect. You know, I still get triggered. And if I'm in my wound and he's in his wound, then we're like, right? It just happens. This is all a learning practice, and we have to practice it all the time. So the defensive action of this wound is to retreat inward. And you'll notice by their body language is they're going to cover themselves up. They're going to, you know, be far away from you. And they'll kind of like give you that grumpy look, like stay away, but I love you kind of thing. And just notice that it's okay. They're just in the retreat mode, and just say, hey, I'm here if you need anything, and then go do your own thing, which is perfect because, you know, if you're someone that's like second chakra needing somebody, you're needing your own autonomy to figure out yourself. So this is a good time to not be with the kid or the partner, to go do your own thing so you have your own autonomous experience while they're in their own autonomous experience. Okay. Know that with this defense, though, it's because the whole world feels like a prison and out to get them. Like like Nikayla said, everything feels like a threat, like from a loud boom to a, you know, a car driving by to, you know, stopping at a stoplight with a car pulling up next to them. Just any conceivable threat is there. But what that means for a third chakra wound is that their energies are exploded. So we're always going to teach you to pull your energies in, okay? And by pulling in, you're allowing yourself to come back into your body rather than remaining out there. And as you come in, you pull your energies in, you zip up. Remember the zip up? Okay, so now you're locking your energies in, and then from there, grounding yourself down deep. So you're like immovable and you're connected, okay? And as you ground, now nothing can mess with you. You kind of just look at it like a funny show, and basically you're safe, right? And you have freedom. You've created your own freedom. Like no one can mess with you here. And if you are way too hypervigilant and you're over anxious and you're overwhelmed, then, you know, message Nikayla and I, and I will personally put in your third chakra. We have to what's called is restructure it, because it's like exploded into pieces. So we got to put it back in so you can feel safe within your body. Okay. Let's see here. So the biggest thing for this third chakra wound is if they can get to that gold of their own creativity and find themselves again, they literally will create in this world something that they've never seen before. Because basically with the sitting with self for so long, they have magical ideas. They have literally ideas and solutions to solve the world. They just can't get it out. And so sometimes they ask for permission from others. And I learned this last year where my third chakra was in effect. And I realized that, you know, Nikayla has given me permission to be myself, right? To be my confident self. But I can't ride on that on her, right? I've got to find it for myself. And I realized that what happens is you'll elicit people to do things for you, which feels good because then you get to sit there and do nothing again, but you're still giving your power away. And once you gain your power, then you gain your confidence in doing things for yourself, and you realize like, I can do it. I figured it out. Like that whole, you know, energy kids have of like being able to like do something for themselves. It feels good. But their whole thing is to get permission and help from others all the time to do things, right? So I got that help from Nikayla when I was going through my third, but then I was like, okay, I've got to learn how to do this on my own, right? And realize I can give myself permission. So realizing you can give yourselves permission to be yourself is going to be huge, and you're safe more than ever in this time of your life to do whatever it is that you want, right? If you set it up that way. Also, you know, with those beautiful ideas and solutions, basically when they create, it's a little disjointed. So you're not going to have the full picture at one time, right? You're going to get puzzle pieces. And as you get these puzzle pieces, know that it's just coming together, right? So you will want to write it like your ideas out and then eventually read them to get the bigger picture. The one thing is though, is do not share this with anybody, okay? Until you are literally anchored into these ideas for yourself. Because guess what? Remember with mother stealing the ideas and making it their own? You're basically sharing because you're excited, but if, you know, they suggest anything, if they tell you something is not good about it, it kills the dream, literally a killjoy. So keep it close to you and let it unfold until you get your own full picture and can anchor it in, unless there's someone trustworthy enough to hold space for you in your dream and won't say anything about it, right? All they need to say is like, that's amazing, so cool, right? Just let them appreciate you. But if they start saying certain things, go, nope, like literally hold your boundary and say, I don't need to hear that. I don't want to hear that. And thank you, right? I've had to do that when my third was triggered with my mother-in-law. Like anytime she's like because she's a 5th chakra and wants to give, all these ideas on top of my idea. I'm like, nope, I don't want to hear it. And it may seem like rude, but honestly, it is a huge protection for your own dreams and desires and creativity. And it helps other people realize, like, no, you can't interrupt my flow and you can't be in my energy field, because that's naturally what that kind of person will do, is they're going to steal your energy and use it as their own. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's see. So if someone is in this wounding pattern, like I said, test their energy field. Where are they, right? Can you get close to them? If you get close, are they getting, like a frightened, or pissed off person? Or can you get closer? Also, are they talking long and slow with lots of pauses because they can't get their whole expression out? Also, are they giving you push-pull signals, meaning like, what do you think? But I don't want you to, don't tell me anything, but help me, but don't help me. And then you're like, oh, I don't know what to do here. Go, you know what? I'll just listen to you. Tell me, what's going on. And then just say, hey, I know you're going to figure it out. You're so amazing. And you can even reiterate what they said to them, like the mirroring effect, so that they can hear themselves, right? Let's see here. They'll also begin to reject everything that you suggest. So that's another way you can tell. And then also it feels as if you're being entangled in their energies. Or even the 3rd chakra too, is like their stomachs really hurt because all of everyone else's energies of what someone else is saying and what someone else is doing gets entangled in that 3rd chakra. So if you're the one in that entanglement, like what I do is I pull out just energy, like from my belly, but you want to do it from the sides, not from the center. And what that looks like is just like grabbing it. You can feel it because you're, hypersensitive and psychic, right? Just take it and pull it out. And often this is normally like cords from other people, because then they send cords in to try to control you and make you do something, right? You're being invaded. Another thing you can say is, who does this belong to? And we've shared this many times before, but if you feel like crap, you're more often, your energy is exploited. You got to pull in, and then you got to say, who does this belong to? Return to sender, transmute, transcend with light and love. And that really helps to get back to your emotions and your energies rather than everyone else's. So last but not least, the spiritual needs of this wounding is basically they want to feel self-sufficient, that they can take care of themselves. So if you're someone that is like doing everything for this person all the time, you're not allowing them to heal, right? So stop that. Do not do everything for them. Go, hey, I know you can figure it out, right? You can do this. Or if you do help them, teach them how to fish instead of doing it for them. Okay, so really give them instructions on how to do it themselves. They need to claim themselves as individuals. They need to express themselves and all their feelings without being censored. And they need space. If you don't have space in your home like that you can call your own, you better declare it at this moment. Otherwise, you will always be triggered. Always, always, always. So let's see here. If you give them a positive healing, if you recognize this in other people, basically they'll feel safe enough to come out and share their true selves. Basically, they will feel safe around you. They will honor their own creations. They will bring all this creativity out because honestly, they just care about people. They have like the biggest hearts. They're like ginormous teddy bears that want to give the world a squeeze. Like they don't know how to fix this, but they know how to fix that out there. They just haven't been able to have the space to share that. Okay, so I know that this is a lot, and I know some of you might have got triggered, and this is good because now we can uncover it and support you, right? So know that if you go into this wounding, you may go into what's called shutdown mode, and we're going to talk about more about that later. But basically, shutdown mode is saying no to everything. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want, and no one can tell me what to do. Okay, so if you go there, just, it's okay. Accept that you're going into it. Accept that you're eating a bunch of junk food. Accept that you're sitting in front of the TV all the time. It's okay. Like, this is a healing response to this wound if you are there, but we can help you get out if you are willing to let us in, and we can just give you the information to get out of it. Okay, anyone have any questions? I'm just looking at the chat. I love to figure things out, and I'm also learning it's okay to ask for help. Yes. Smother mother to the ex. Yes, it happens. I mean, I did that with Isaac, and he was like, no, 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 no. Because I want to control everything. What does smother mother want to do? Control everything. Your dad and your boys. Yeah. Most men have this wounding, just so you know. A lot of women have it, especially if they've had a lot of controlling mothers.
Oh boy, this is gonna be so fun. So thank you, Candace, for getting us all nice and open. Before we go into our journey today, I just want to get you guys back in touch with your body, because we had a couple of you leave as soon as you felt the jab to your belly. Okay, so feet on the floor. We never said it was gonna be comfortable, right? But we did say it was going to be worth it. So it's okay to be uncomfortable right now. We're just going to put our feet on the floor. And I'm safe in my body. Say it out loud, please. I'm safe in my body. Feel the energy coming down from your third, breathing it down into your sacral. Breathing it. It's okay to let go of it. It's okay to let go of it. Breathing it down into your sacral. Good. And now let's move it down into our legs, out the root. It's going to pour down into the earth. And if you need to wiggle a little, wiggle a little. Breathe, Tway. Good. Breathe, Courtney. You gotta breathe. Okay, good job. And now we're gonna stomp our feet 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Let's do that 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. There we go. You feel like you're back now? Okay. If we're not in our body when we do this work, we get to redo it. So let's stay in our body while we do it. And it's okay to sit with it, and it's okay. What I want you to remember is whatever you realized about yourself in this moment or the other people in your life, we all are doing the best we can with what we have. And in the past, that's what we did also. That's all we can ever do, is the best we can with what we have. Okay. Now we have this knowledge. We're going to keep developing this knowledge and continuously do better with compassion and understanding for the process. Okay. Awesome. So the last thing I feel really called to tell you is, if you are in a shame spiral, you need to reach out to Candace and I. Even if it's just like a purple heart and that's all you send us, one of us will tap into you and reach out to you if you send us some sort of thing that says, hey, I'm in the battlefield right now. Because when you're in the third chakra, you're going to be your own worst enemy. And we definitely need to find space for compassion. Okay. So remember to reach out. So go lie down, mute out your videos, put headphones on if you choose. Candace, can you just help me with the music for a minute?
Yes. Don't you worry, I'm going to do some clearing on the other side of this, so get through some of this energy, okay?
Good or too much?
Can't hear it. Go ahead and talk.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you hear me while hearing the drum?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Everybody go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Every breath you take, feeling the weight of your body on the surface beneath you. Any thoughts or feelings that come to your mind, simply allow them to fade away. And as you breathe, sinking in to your surroundings, I want you to envision yourself walking down a beautiful canyon tunnel. Beautiful red walls of stone surrounding you. Vibrant swirls of orange and red. You feel a sacred connection with the earth here. Every step you take down this tunnel, this beautiful canyon opening, leads you closer to your destination, to your knowing, to your freedom. As you walk down this path, you're joined by a beautiful spirit helper in the form of an animal. Notice what your animal looks like. The size, the shape, the demeanor. This spirit helper has come to be a guide to you for now and forevermore. A symbol of what you need most right now. Allow yourself to follow with trust down the path as this animal guides you. As you begin to walk deeper into the canyon, a beautiful violet rain begins to pour down on you, opening your crown, flooding within you energies of the divine, unconditional support, limitless energy, limitless love, limitless divinity. As you breathe in this beautiful violet energy, it begins to swirl down through your entire body into the earth. Still walking through the canyon, the violet is replaced with a deep indigo. This indigo energy moving through your body, through your bones, your organs, awakening your third eye as you deepen your senses and the way you see the world. Continuing down the path of the canyon, the indigo softens into a beautiful sky blue, opening your throat, giving you freedom of expression as you stand in your truth, your understanding, your knowing, and share it with the world. The sky blue deepens into a beautiful green as this energy flows down into your heart space, opening your heart walls, allowing love to pour in and out, consuming you, becoming you, as you remember what you are. Breathing in deeply as this beautiful green lightens into a vibrant, powerful yellow as the energies move down into your belly, lighting a perfect flame of yellow energy. You find confidence, freedom, individuality. So many choices here. You can do anything you want to do. And as this yellow fades into a deep orange, energy flowing into your sacral pelvic bowl, allowing yourself to feel the flow of this energy move through you, swirling inside of you, softening, feeling surrender. Breathing in this powerful orange energy as it deepens into a beautiful crimson red, grounding you into the earth, harnessing your power, rooting you, anchoring you, amplifying you as all of your energies are transmuted into powerful earth energies here. Now that you have this perfect connection head to toe, the colors fade and you find yourself in a beautiful opening at the base of the canyon. 5 wooden logs placed in a semicircle around a beautiful fire. As you take your place at the center log, 4 guardian angels join you, 2 on either side. They are here to help you call in your powerful energies as you activate and align your 3rd chakra, as you discover your power. These guardian angels begin to dance around the fire, sending beautiful yellow flames into your core. As this powerful yellow energy is harnessed, listen to the words of these guardian angels as they help you see clearly the choices you have, the freedom you have, your drive, purpose, power in this world. Listen with an open mind and heart. The time now is yours. As this powerful message comes to an end, allow the words of your guardian angels to sink deep within you. As the fire in your belly comes a perfect, controlled flame with with energy both going into the heart and out up the throat, and also down into the ground, rooted in the earth. Balance, consistency, freedom. Breathing into this energy, finding gratitude for the openness within you now. Thank your guardian angels for their time today as you bow before the fire, accepting this sacred gift and message. As the guardians fly away and the fire goes out, you find yourself back on the beautiful canyon path, barefoot, sinking into the yummy rocks beneath you as you feel that sacred earth energy. Every step you take now brings you back into your body, your human form, remembering your mission here on earth and the power that you hold with every step you take, feeling your heart begin to slow, your breath begin to even out, your fingers and toes beginning to wiggle, your eyelids blinking open, and when you're ready, coming back to the group. You guys did really beautifully. Good work. I'd love to hear about your experience in the Facebook group. Candace is going to let us know what energies she cleared from us.
So there is a lot of extra souls, meaning that there is a lot of karmic energy with this chakra wound. So a lot of things are going to come up through you, okay? Because it's all this past energy of trying to clear so you can be be who you are without everything from past lives overriding you all the time. Next was very chaotic energy. Basically, your soul is like in the middle, but everything that's around you, especially with that hypervigilance, is like this miasm, this craziness around you. So it's learning how to like calm that chaos down and be grounded and centered. So, and that's at 100% for most of you. So being able to really tune into your own truth and trusting in yourself. The next one was a block to helpfulness, basically not sure how to help and how to be helpful because you're always told what to do or others constantly did it for you. So realizing you are very helpful just by being yourself and by accessing your own inner wisdom, because again, you know a lot of things about other people, and sharing that with them, especially if they come to you, you are very helpful already. And also, one of the blocks that I had to clear for the third chakra is there's a lot of lessons at like 30% that you have to accomplish before being able to really work with your higher self, right? Because if you don't know yourself, then you actually don't know the essence of God, because you are that. And if you've been like stuck in your own prison and watching what other people do and affiliating with them in that manner, then your essence is of everyone else's ideas, beliefs, but not your own, which is where that true connection is. So there's going to be a lot of lessons in learning how to trust and tune into yourself. Also had to clear the critical inner parent archetype that's inside of you that's like always beating up on you. And that's at 100%. So really being mindful of how much you're punishing yourself and being super critical. And lastly was how to change your life. And the biggest one for this third chakra is acceptance. It's accept where you are. Because if you don't accept where you are, you can't really move forward, because now there's like that tension, right? So if you go, okay, I guess this is where I'm at. love myself for it. I accept myself for it. I accept that I'm going to binge watch. I accept that I'm going to shut down. I accept this, then it moves quicker. Okay. And that's basically it. Yes, acceptance. Accept who you are. Awesome. We have about 7 minutes here. Anyone want to share anything before we end? Or Nikayla, was there anything else you wanted to do? Okay.
Anyone wants to share? That's great. Go ahead, Charmaine.
I truly believe that my daughter is in the chakra. And I really need help with this. I do believe I'm in the chakra too, but we're battling. There's a lot of this. My mom was very controlling, and I know that I am controlling. So yeah, I need help.
Keep reaching out to us and let us help you process through this. It's great that you're saying I need help now. And so now it just looks like either hopping on a one-on-one or getting on Marco with us and really allowing us to help you through this, because between me and Candace, me like experiencing this my whole life, and Candace dealing with 2 massive third chakras, we know how to help both sides of it. So let's start processing today. Okay, Charmaine?
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And I'm also glad you recognize that's probably where you're at and where she's at, because oftentimes this energy is rebel. Like, I will rebel and I will say no to everything that you are trying to tell me. But again, that's a good healing process, because they're trying to individuate from maybe your control. So yeah, we'll work on that. Okay.
Yeah, the big one that what like the aha moment was is that her dad always says, "Oh, you have your mom's eye." Then I always say, "You look just like your dad," and she always says, "I look like myself." And that's when I was like, "Yep."
Yes. So remember, don't take things personally. She's just trying to get out everything that's been stuffed right now.
Easier said than done, but I will do my best.
I understand that. Completely understand that. Michelle.
So I was actually messaging Nikayla a lot while you were talking, Candace, and I had to turn my video off because I was a little bit of a mess. This one hit me hard. So, and not just because clearly it's a wounding for me, but also because I'm causing the matter of it being a wounding for my voice. That one's harder than me. So I'm interested to see what's going to move through on this one. You both know that I've done some other work before I started working with you two, and one of the things that came up in that work, and my mind's a little rummy right now, but basically that in relationships, I'm a rebel doormat. And that all sort of made all this kind of way different sense when you were describing this today. Those were the 2 words that I put on it in going through that other work. Rebel doormat. So I'm a doormat until I'm not, and then I forget about it. So anyway, well, thank you.
I'm really glad you're allowing yourself to feel into this. Like, what you did is not your fault, right? It's a wounding pattern that's passed down from generation to generation, especially out of fear and control, right? And we do what we do because we think it's the right thing to do, not realizing it is harming. But they were born from you, and they are experiencing this karma with you. And oftentimes with these wounding patterns, like, these are like the main specific ones are literally your greatest gift. Okay. Just know that. And I'll explain a lot of that later, but like this third chakra means like those that have it and who experience a big part of it will literally change the face of the world because they're rebelling against what has been created because it doesn't work. And so therefore in that rebellion, they'll find their true essence and be able to make these big changes. So in all honesty, you probably set your boys up for making some big changes in this world.
Mm-hmm. I had a vision when James was born that he was a leader of men, and I had a vision of him with people following him.
I just got the chills. So yeah. So, you know, if you weren't that way, then he wouldn't be that way. You know what I mean? So understand that. But now we can go to the skillful.
Yeah.
And I want you to recognize, and you're not the only one who's doing this, but I am going to call it out, is pretty much the whole time you've been talking, you've been like this. And do you remember from first chakra what that is when I'm like this? See my head? I don't know if you noticed, but it's crooked. Okay. We're escaping our bodies. So every time you talked, and 3 of you totally left during the journey, and you are one of them. So it's really important to, as you're feeling, to watch yourself. Am I breathing? Holding your breath is a trauma response.
Mm-hmm.
Cocking your head is an escape response. So am I breathing? Am I aligned? Okay. That's where I want you to keep coming back to, because you have the awareness. All of you on this call have the awareness, right? But if we're not in our bodies while we have this awareness, it doesn't matter. Okay.
And that's more than just you being on the left side of my screen. I'm actually tilting.
You were actually, so rewatch this tonight. You were
Okay.
literally like this. It looked very uncomfortable. Okay.
Okay.
So watch yourself in the replay.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, Marco us, let us know how you're feeling as we go through third. I mean, this is the start. It gets better, just like how we moved through second. We got into the play. At the end of all of this, we'll get into your power. So just trust the process. It's natural to feel like shit. You're going to feel better. Yeah. We got your back. Thank you.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.